to Isak, tossed it towards Morientes, and then Gerrard! Oh! Oh, goodness me! What a
Away. Back like we never left. Okay, so from outside the box, FOTB hashtag Shelloz cheers. Away, Shelloz, how's the vine? How's it vibe?
Aware. Smoothie. Hey, advice. Summertime. There's spoilers
Yeah.
there. We cool. Just chilling in the shade. And now we good.
Yeah, hey. Just had a bit of we wouldn't call it a break, but just a recalibration over the festive period. South Africans, especially people in Durban, when it comes to being with family over the festive, we take that very seriously. So yeah, FOTB, we just had to refresh, and yeah, we're back, episode 12. Now we'll just jump into it. Very, very interesting title race so far. I remember there was a talk, right, that there was a talk like, is Liverpool in the title race? And honestly speaking, as me personally as a Liverpool fan, at the beginning of the season, I was like, please come on, take it easy. We basically got a brand new midfield, so I think we're just gonna figure things out as advised, and hopefully we'll challenge top four. And because I mean, having with Liverpool, especially under Klopp, having a brand new midfield is like having a brand new team in some respect, because with the way Klopp plays, the engine room is a midfield. So when I was looking at that, losing 4, buying about 5, or losing 5 midfields, buying about 4, I was like, I don't expect a lot. But hey, fast forward, we're in January, top of the league, 2 points ahead of City. KDB is back, so it's quite interesting, How you seeing it now? How are you seeing it now?
No, it's very interesting. Like you said, we were just hoping we can get into top 4 again this season. Like, because last season was terrible and it looked like, hey, it's gonna take a lot of work this season. I was even saying when the season started, I was saying, hey, if we don't get a CDM, a proper CDM, because I didn't know Endo. I'm not gonna even act like I knew.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna lie. There's no need.
I didn't know Endo, and so I thought and Endo didn't look like he was it when the little that he played. He looked like he was too slow. He looked like he was taking too many touches on the ball. I remember that Crystal Palace game in particular, where they had him and Klopp had to take him off half time because every time he touched the ball, they were on him. It was,
you're struggling.
That's not what a Liverpool midfielder does. A Liverpool midfielder, as soon as they get the ball, they pass it. As soon as they already know who they're passing to, and you have to learn that. And I think he probably started the game because after that game, he came back and he was improved. And I'm not saying he's like a world's best CDM, but he's doing the job. But Liverpool, their midfield, all they have to do is do their job. That's it.
Facts.
Like, Klopp hasn't never used to want goals, but this season, that's what changed. We're getting goals from midfield now, which is something a Liverpool team never really did. It wasn't really important. Everything was on the forwards. Salah to be in particular, but everything was on the forwards to get those goals, to score as many as possible. And that was how we used to win games, with the forwards scoring goals. But this season, that's where we see the change. And not only that, but the bench. The bench has really boosted this Liverpool team, because that's something to be honest, it's not to say that Harvey Elliott and Jones were bad players, but they're not players that rely on and think, hey, we need something from this game, let's bring them on. But that's who they became this season.
To be truthful.
In early parts of the season, that's who they became. And that's what changed it for us, is that, and Klopp's changing earlier. Klopp used to, let's just go heads in. It takes so long to make a change. You can see what needs to be done. And you know that he can see what needs to be done, but he never used to do it. But now Klopp makes changes half time if he has to. 60th minute, he makes those changes if you can see, okay, yeah, this is not working out, which is really good, really good. And it's not just and the brilliant thing about it, or the excellent thing about it as a Liverpool fan is they're not yet playing that great,
True.
but they crack out those results, and there is like signs of them looking like a good team. Like you can see, yeah, no, they look like they can do something if everything
Facts.
smoother. Centre backs have been good. They've been really good this season. That's a one big change. And like we said, we didn't expect much from the midfield. But centre backs have been good. The forwards, they hit and miss at the moment, and that's where the issue is. Once they start firing, I think that actually determines whether we actually can mount this challenge right to the end, or if we fall off along the way. Because we need the forwards to come through. We definitely need them to come through. Yeah, that's my
No,
life
of course.
and so forth.
Yeah, no, I think I'm along the same lines. That players that we didn't expect to kick, well, not kick on. I mean, we kind of expected them to kick on and kind of find their place in the team. Have become vital. Jones, Elliott, particularly Elliott
Yeah.
off the bench. He's a different. I think now, especially with Salah at the AFCON, Elliott has taken on responsibilities on the right wing, not just on the right wing, but on the right-hand side in general, together with, especially with Szoboszlai injured, whoever's playing on the right, Elliott has really been, complementing them, putting in a shift. Jones has become vital, very vital. I mean,
Yeah.
Jones has become a must starter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie and say, I always said this light. No. There was a time where even people in the SP group knew, like, I was like, let's send this Lighty on loan. I'm not too sure about Jones.
Yeah,
He used to
he was
really
making
irritate me.
that holding
Yeah.
the ball. I know.
Yeah.
He's holding the ball a bit
Hey,
too long.
where you
and it's
see
like
making a top run through.
Then it's
Yeah.
not a Liverpool midfielder thing for them to be like
Exactly.
holding the ball too long. It's
Yeah.
quick turnover and get the ball forward. That's
Very
just,
quick. So that was irritating me,
Yeah.
and I can't even deny he's become one of our vital players in the team. I have to it's a must that I shout out Joey Gomez, bro. Joe
Joe picks up. He turned around.
Joe,
I also
another
thought
player.
he was one of the first ones I was kicking out.
Yeah. He was another one. I was like,
But should you last
Gomez.
Gomez
This one might have survived back to Charlton the way he was playing, etc. But this season, Joey is a starter this season. So yeah, in terms of Liverpool, like you said, I was a bit on the fence regarding how we're gonna do this season, and like you said, we're not playing the best football because there's certain games where I have to shout out the Klopp's in-game management this season. It's insane. It's insane. I think one of the best ones was against Arsenal, where Arsenal are totally outrunning us, outplaying us, and that switch it did with putting Diaz on the right and then moving that Nunes on the left and Gakpo to the middle, and that's like in-game management has been at a different level this season. So yeah, there's still a lot to come with us.
Most about. He was too rigid.
Yeah.
He was too rigid. He didn't want to move from that. And I think it's Pep. Well, he also says it's Pep Linder's influence. And in terms
definitely.
of he's listening to him more. He said he is listening to him more. But that's good. That's good. On the management side, yeah.
Liverpool so far so good. In terms of signings, I don't see any signings in this window, but it would be nice to strengthen, for the run-in, for the rest of the season. But I don't see that happening. KDB's back. Hey, that Prague said no, man. He just gives us those bubble guts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a trauma trigger. You know what I'm saying?
It's mesmerizing. There's nothing you can do. You just say, that's just so beautiful. Like that.
Can't even hate.
That the angular one.
That was
otherworldly. Like
what do you even say?
Nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say. You can't hate on that. You must.
Mm-mm.
That can be a
It's
real
impossible.
hater. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like I was talking to another Brian. He says, "Hey, what kind of Liverpool? How come you don't hate KDB?" I was like,
We
"Yo,
can't.
how can we hate them, man? Like, who was naring was Bernardo Silva, but like because of how he
Yeah,
acts. But even him, we can't deny he's a baller. But
look at that
KDB
first goal.
is such a humble old man.
Bernardo, look at that
KDB
first
is a
goal.
hey, Bernardo. But KDB is
But
such
yeah,
a humble
Mara,
old.
true.
He's cool. He
True.
doesn't really talk nonsense, and he just plays ball. He just plays ball, and he's a beast.
Yeah.
No man, that's his team. Like when he's in that team, it's a different team. No matter who, no matter what. Like they have other stars there, but he's the one that makes it. And I think with him and Haaland, that definitely pushes them back as favorites. Definitely,
True.
they're back to being favorites. If anybody had questions, anybody had doubts, they definitely being back to favorites. But they're also not playing that 100 soon, so it's not like
Yeah.
So there is still a chance for Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, Mount
Definitely.
to keep this challenge going because, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over because, but City, they have this ability of just going on a mad run and just winning like
15
10,
games.
15 games in a run and just obliterating teams. And then it reaches that point where the teams have to change. And that's what makes
Facts.
the run go long. Because, when they still iffy like this, teams attack them but once they go on and run, then the teams change. They have to go low block. And then they're gonna win most of those games. So
Yeah, no, of course.
interesting change to the season. I think KDB came in the right time to spark that
Perfect
interest to
time.
make it. It's not to say the league was boring. The league is live this season. This is one of the best
Hey,
seasons. There's
in a
lots
while.
of goals, lots of goals,
Yeah.
and so Arsenal are definitely not out of it. Teams can still slip up. Like I say, we're not playing hundreds. City's not playing their best. So Arsenal were kind of unlucky with a lot of the results they got. To be honest, they
True.
had the position. They had. I know. I
They had
just slipped
everything.
into Arsenal, and if you're finished with talking about City, and I just slipped
It's
into
flowing.
Arsenal. But
It's flowing.
Arsenal, I can't write them off. Like a lot of people are saying, do you write Arsenal
Never.
off? And I'm like, so early, and they're a team that knows each other now. They're not like still that fresh team like last season where you want to show if the cracks are going to show. They know each other. They gel quite well when everything's running smoothly. For some reason, they just can't find a back of the net. It happens. But
Yeah.
I'm sure Arteta is smart enough to overcome that, and then they're back in. 1 or 2 throws, and everyone catches up. So even us, we're on
You
top.
say
If
no.
we throw 2 games, but we back to third. That's how it's going this season. You don't even have to lose. So yeah, it's
I
an
mean, it's
interesting
crazy. I
season.
mean, look at Spurs. They started off well, firing, and then they went through a hell of a dip. All of a sudden, in the past few games, I think they won twice and they drew now with United yesterday. They're on par points with Arsenal. They are not even 1 or 2 points off top 4. They're basically in top 4 now. They're both them and Arsenal are on 40. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right. I think Arsenal, they just got quite a bit to actually figure out regarding their finishing. And not to be funny, I mean, we can't particularly blame it on, Jesus is injured. He is also struggling with finishing as well. I think they just, as a team, need to figure out how to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
So it's not like, they got like this big striker that's missing, and nah. I think collectively as a team they just need to figure it out because they don't have a clinical finisher in the team.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So they have to rely on team goals. Everybody chipping in. So yeah, we can't not mention in terms of title races. We can't not mention Villa without mentioning Arsenal and Liverpool because Villa,
Hello.
they just
they're relentless with their style of play. Watching that game against Everton, they were unlucky. They were relentless. They just didn't stop playing that game of theirs. It was just, they swarm you, they stay all over you, and then your quick defense turns into attack. That high line, them and Spurs play very similar with that super, super high line, but they don't care. They just play that game. And they were also unlucky yesterday that Oli wasn't his normal best. His passing was bad. He didn't make most of his opportunities, but Everton could even put them to a result yesterday. But that's how they play. High risk, high reward. Them and Spurs play the similar type.
Same
high
story.
risk, high reward. So it's amazing how Unai changed his style of play. Like, he was a counter-attacking manager, built up from the back,
Very.
and they used to play this. He always liked the intricate passing. That's always been Unai's game. So and I think that's why Arsenal wanted him when they took him that time, is because he did play a very similar style to what Arsenal of old played. Very beautiful, very attractive, slick passing, quick movement. But he still got there, but with a higher line. So it's like compressed, the same game, small passes. He had at one stage he had Bailey and what's that other winger? The new one. I always forget his name.
Diaby.
When I came from him and Diaby both on the right. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But
That's
it was
madness.
such a problem. It was such a problem for Everton. I was like, hey, yeah, I know. This season is really interesting. Everybody's playing. A lot of teams are playing good football. It's not quite there yet. So I think it's almost like a build up to next season, because I think all the teams are going to be, well, you don't know how it goes, but the way how it's looking, like everybody's still finding their feet. So they
Exactly.
all those teams are almost perfect. Like I'm thinking of the top 6 teams. They're they're almost perfect, but there's just that one thing missing, and that's what's happening. But Villa, yeah, I know, you have to give them credit. I didn't see them even challenging for the top 4. Based on last season, we thought they'd be a decent team, top 10 at least in there, but top 4, yeah, and not just by luck. They there on merit in top 4, yeah. So no, definitely gotta give them a shout
They're
out.
looking good. I think what changed a bit, just to touch on in terms of tactically, what changed with Unai. I think what also changed with Villa was they weren't too fully keen on controlling games from midfield, but that has changed now with Douglas Luiz and Kamara, because Kamara is not just a destroyer. I mean, he even whether he wins the ball back or receives it from Douglas Luiz, he has that ability to pick up his head and pick a good pass.
Yeah,
So I think that's what also changed with them, the control in the middle.
definitely.
Kamara and in terms of midfield pairings from deep, Kamara and Douglas Luiz could be up there, in the league. I mean, we just got a fresh display yesterday. We saw it yesterday. There were times when Everton was trying to bully them in the middle, but Kamara and Luiz, they just kept regaining control as the game progressed. So I think that's what changed a lot.
Because Everton's midfield is not like a
Strength.
Spurs midfield.
So for them,
you're right.
Yeah.
And that's something that's actually an interesting take, that they didn't look to be overwhelmed by those Everton midfielders, like Everton do to a lot of teams recently.
Yeah, because I don't like. I was fighting Tim Sherwood. Tim Sherwood before the game, he's like, Everton and Villa look, they look a bit even. I'm like, huh? What is this Bali talking about? In terms of going into this game, both clubs look, it's an evenly contested game. I'm like, I don't know, in terms of form, but I understand what you're saying. Maybe in terms of who's going to control the game, whose midfield's going to control the game. I understand. I mean, if you got players like Kobbie,
what evens it out is Goodison. Like, it's not easy to go to Goodison.
Oh, that's true as well.
I think that kind of evens out, because it's an intense environment there, and like I said, that midfield of Everton is not a like. I know they were on a bad run earlier on, but I think they were talking about it yesterday. If they didn't get those 10 points deducted, they would have been up 12 to 11. They would have been that that
True.
region. And that's with having bad results. They had bad results earlier on. They were just getting hit left, right, and center. And for them
Shame.
to lose like that and still get a 7-point deduction, and they're not in danger of getting relegated, and you can say no, they definitely also a team that's developing nicely. And Dyche also had to
Dyche.
adapt his style of play. That's
True.
and that showed you this season is a season of managers changing their style of play. Because I tell you, if Dyche was still playing that DycheBall, there's no way it didn't work. He came back playing that ball, and it didn't work. So he had to change something, because he didn't have the players to play this two banks or four, and the strikers
Yeah.
also defending too. He couldn't do that. He had to adapt. And credit to him too. Credit to him. Everton are not that bad. Everton can hurt you on the counter. They look good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They don't look fully Burnley. Fully
Yeah.
old school Burnley. Yeah.
No.
No. So yeah, the league's looking good. I think with us, with Liverpool, there's some tricky. I think in terms of, I mean, but then again, we know we're talking about how our teams in the Premier League are progressing, so we can't really say, oh, that's an easy game. This is an easy. But in terms of the personnel that each team is facing, I think Liverpool, we got Bournemouth, then we got Chelsea and Arsenal, and then Man City got teams like Luton, and so as much as the league is a 38-game league, right now, particularly this period with the AFCON, quite a few teams missing a couple of players. And I could say this period from like January into February, or could we say the next 5 games are looking crucial, you know. It's not about prediction. It's just looking very, very crucial, especially at, in the top 4. I think between the top 4, it's like 5 points. Yeah, but between the top 2, it's only 2 points. And like we discussed a bit earlier, like in this league, you could draw 2 or lose 1 and draw 1, and you clap 4th. You end up like, look at Arsenal. They went on a bad run. I think it's in the past 5 games, they only won 1 or something like that. And look at them now; they're 4th, and Spurs are basically on their necks. West Ham are like only 6 points behind them with a game in hand. So no, yeah, West Ham about 6 points
That's
behind
under
them.
a month.
So
Under a month.
under a month,
That just shows you how quick.
within 5 games. So that's why I say yes, it's a 38 game league, but it just seems like these periods of 5 games at a time have become very, very vital.
That's why you gotta take it in segments. Even like we were discussing earlier, even the matches themselves, you can't get carried away that your team's wander down, because even in the match you can see it's like it's normal, like how it was before. Things change within a match. In the match, your team can be losing, second half maybe they win it. The team can be winning,
Facts.
second half they lose. It's so even the whole league now, you have to take it like that. You have to actually take it one game at a time, as I always say. I've always been like that. I don't even really focus on who reversing after the next match. I only just focus on the next match, check who reversing, and then I check afterwards what's the next game. Because I know it's tough. It's tough to see. Things happen quick. And like you were saying, things happen quick. And you asked me about top Christmas Day, New Year's Day they weren't. And the same thing can happen to us. We top now in January, end of January, we can be dead. That's just how it is. So you don't get too carried away. Like you were saying, you can't win the league in January. So it's not really important to be on top in January. But what's important is if you're on top come May. Like, all these things help you stay top, is winning these little matches, winning these so-called walkovers or matches, etc. But there's no easy matches now. Teams are playing to survive, but they're playing to for pride. They're playing for many things. because
Yeah.
hey, like I was talking to someone about Brentford with Toney coming back and Toney looked like he's on a mission. Just listen to his interviews and how
True.
he's speaking. A
Yeah.
calm, focused Ivan Toney can be very dangerous. And
Even around the whole, there was a lot of talk about, he might sign for Arsenal, he might sign, and just him in that interview mentioning like he's staying at Brentford, he's fully focused on Brentford. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, at the moment where they're struggling quite a bit, they're 16th. They are like 3 points away from the drop, 3 points outside the drop. So to have somebody like Ivan Toney back is
and
crucial for anything.
versing them now, it's not going to be easy because he was
Never.
like the voice of the team. They say he was like the clown and he was missing. So even the team felt his absence. Him coming back is going to be a boost, and you know how they play with him leading the line. They are very dangerous. I think Mbeumo's gone for AFCON or he's injured, one of the two. But
Yeah.
but them two, when they full flight, hey, they're dangerous. They can hit you. So this league, there's a lot of little things that are happening that are taking shape.
Yeah.
That I think it's not every game just going to be an easy game. It's going to be tough. Moving forward.
I think Newcastle as well. They had a very, very tough start to the season, but there seems to be a bit of a resurgence, particularly the way they're playing. I mean, we can look at the City game and think, oh, but they lost. But I think in terms of the way they took their chances in that game,
No,
Isak,
but they're kind of
Isak and
up.
Gordon are looking very, very sharp. They're looking very sharp.
Gordon
Isak
is a
and
very good player.
particularly Isak. I like. Okay,
Don't like Gordon, but
this
he's a
might
good
go.
player.
Yeah. It might cause some political issues if you say, "Hey, Gordon." I mean, him being on the other side of Merseyside, but still, you know, you have to acknowledge players. He's very, very good. He looks sharp. In fact, his finishing is getting dangerous because at times,
Mm.
there are times where you just cut in when you pass to a midfielder, or he'll, you know, get some
No,
choke in his boots on the byline and cross. But now he's cutting in and
and
smacking them. There's quite a
he's a
bit of
threat. He's a
confidence.
proper threat now.
Yeah.
He's a proper
And
threat. When
Isak
you
for
get
me
the
at the
ball up
moment in
high,
terms of strikers, probably top 3 in the league at the moment in terms of
he's up there,
strikers.
bro. He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there because that's his composure, man.
Yeah.
He's a very composed player.
Very.
He's
Yeah.
just got that calm nature about him, but he's ruthless in
Yeah.
front of the net. And I think, and that just shows you with the team, all those injuries that they had, now they all came back. And then when they came back, they still struggle, but now they're gaining confidence again. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because even Man United, they also got players coming back, and you can see that they're also starting to play a bit better. They like they no more
Yeah.
look so lost and so confused. They actually have a shape. They have and you can see what they're trying to do. I know the commentators said they can't see, but I was impressed. I was like,
You
no, I
can,
can actually see what
particularly
they're
in
trying to
build up, they look a lot more better in build up.
do.
Before
Yeah,
it was like either hoofing it or they are trying to go on the wings too much. But it looks like there's something happening in build up as
yeah,
well.
and that Laite Mainoo, I think is a star, man. Like I know
Brilliant.
fans can overhype players and get
Yeah.
carried away, but when you watch him play and you see what he's doing, like he's still young, he got a lot to learn. But from what you can see, I don't think any senior players takes his position
Not
because
at the moment.
he's doing it. They look better with him in the team.
True.
Yeah. So like all clubs, we can touch a little bit on most of the clubs, but yeah, I must say, like Man United, I'm not, even though they're the rivals, but just on a football, uh, speaking just football terms, with the players coming back, they can also be a lot better and cause a lot of problems. And all teams affect the title race. That's the thing. Even for teams not in the title race, all teams affect the title race. So
That's true.
we still got to so all the teams still got to verse each other. Not many of us. We haven't versed all the teams twice yet. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. An interesting one.
I think the next game's at Old Trafford because there was that famous draw at Anfield. So I think the next one is at Old Trafford. That's going to be an interesting game. But yeah, there's quite a few teams in there who are. In fact, I think if we're speaking top 10 perspective, there's quite a few teams that are in a resurgence, and there's a couple there where like you're not sure what's going on. I think Brighton and Chelsea are similar. Like you just don't know
Not sure.
what is really going on, particularly particularly with their individuals, certain players. Too many on and offs going on in Brighton and Chelsea. Although with Brighton, you can still see that's the Zerbi ball. That's a De Zerbi team. But I think there's a lot of figuring out that's still going on individually with certain players. Chelsea, with Chelsea, I mean, this season it's like it's like a free for all. We don't really know what's gonna happen. What do we
players?
Yeah.
You can see like Poch is still trying to figure out that 11. There's too many players and they're all almost on equal form. Like nobody, like besides Palmer and maybe McGallagher, I think like there's not many that are like on top form. Because Sterling's playing very, very well, but he's not really producing again. So he starts it off fire and then he like pees it off. So I think it's a tough one for Pochettino because when players are on form, then it's easy. These 3, 4, 5 positions are set because these are on form.
Fact.
Because now even you have to drop Sanchez and put Petrovic in, and Petrovic is playing better. Looks like he's a better goalkeeper. So like there's problems all over. Like there's nobody cemented in most of the positions. So yeah,
you got a lot to figure out.
Because they were lucky against Fulham. Because Fulham are that's also another team we should shout out because Fulham are playing football at the moment.
Yes.
Fulham are not easy. They're not an easy team.
I mean, look at the semi-final. I mean, never mind that game we had to come back in the Premier League, but even if you look at the semi-final so far, the first leg, they really had to make us fight, and we're definitely going to fight in the second leg as well. The Carabao Cup. So Fulham also looking solid. Obviously, they look better with Palhinha there. But just as I think one player that really, really impresses me, besides Anthony Robertson, but De Cordova-Reid, man, there's just something about him. Like his pace is frightening. I think he is mainly a fullback, but then he's looking like he's taking on more wingback responsibilities as well. But De Cordova-Reid looks like those dangerous wingers who defenders don't like taking.
He looks like a young TI. So
True.
I think he's in King. When TI was in King mode, I think.
Yeah, what you know about that. Yeah.
But
when he scores,
they impressed me.
Fulham look good.
Fulham impressed me. Like every time I see them
Marco Salvador is an underrated tactician, I think it's
he's a top man manager. Like what's his name? Raul Jimenez was going through a rough patch, but he played him through it, and now he's looking back to the Raul we know. He's looking back to he's looking dangerous. Like he's dangerous again. Like he's unpredictable. He's trying things. Like I was checking. No. Hey, he's actually looking good. And also with Palhinha could have been sulking because just missed the move.
True.
But Palhinha's playing world class again. He's back on that level. Like he was never in question to leave that club. It's like so I've got to say, Marco Silva needs credit. The managers have been tops this season. A lot of the managers have been top. Like you got to say, it's like a manager season this season. Like in terms of tactics, in terms of the players are doing their thing, but in terms of managers, like a lot of managers are actually doing really good. And like even some, what can I say? some that we didn't think would do good, like Bournemouth. Bournemouth also another team that they playing top ball. They play top ball. If you think Bournemouth's a walkover, hey, you got a thing. And same thing there. Another thing with man management. Just look at
Solanke.
what's his name up front?
You're talking about players. Talking about player resurgences. That's that is just some. I remember last season. Just talking to one of my, I think there's my brother from the Capo Chase, and we were talking about Solanke, and a lot of what we mentioned is like, I wonder which championship team is going to take him on loan or buy him. But I mean, fast forward to this season, they're always banging in the goals like that.
The man looked championship level. He did look championship
He did.
level. Last season,
if you're being honest,
he wasn't doing anything to suggest that he can lead a line. But now, hopefully he stays them. And because you know what happens with these clubs, as soon as somebody's having a resurgence season, they buy them.
Chelsea make a bid.
Yeah, Chelsea especially. That's the team I was thinking about. It's like, hey, they're gonna come for him because he's their old player too from the youth system. So
deadline day could be interesting because apparently Chelsea don't mind paying 100 million for Evan Ferguson, so from Brighton. So I don't know, Chelsea. Well, not just Chelsea. I think it's just bowling in general. He loves playing the game, this business game of spending and buying.
Ferguson, like we said in the group, Brighton said last season already, 100. If you're not getting 100, don't even come talk to us. So he's going to be up maybe 120, 130.
In a matter of a couple of months, 200 million on two players. Imagine Caicedo and Ferguson.
They're not in a hurry to sell. He doesn't want to buy. Ferguson is happy.
He's happy.
He likes the derby, but he's a very this thing of old school hard-working nines is back. Like there's so many players that are like who also impresses me is Adebayor from Forest.
Yes, from Forest. Yeah.
Forest or Luton? I always mix those two teams up.
No, it's Luton. It's Luton. I think it's Luton.
It is Luton. Hey, he's so hardworking. He's so hardworking, and then he still scores, and that's what's happening. Same with Solanke. Solanke had that hardworking 9 thing down. That part he had. He's not a lazy he's always there. He's trying to win the ball back. That part he had, but he just wasn't putting the ball in the net. But now they're putting the ball in the nets, these players, and that's what's interesting because this hardworking 9 at one stage they were like dying out. There's no more 9s, and especially 9s that worked. Like they were just like a rare commodity. But now you can see like this Adebayor, there's Solanke, there's Raul Jimenez, all these 9s that all doing this thing. Toney's coming back. Toney's like the chief though. That
Haaland, So I think with there could be a resurgence in the centre forward because for a long time, particularly at times when Pep playing Sterling as a striker, Firmino being the false 9, there was always a like an emphasis of having a false 9 or an attacking midfielder who's playing as a striker. But now there seems to be a resurgence of the classic centre forward. Yeah. So that's Premier League.
That's it.
That's the Premier League so far. It's going to be interesting to see how it progresses from here. So what we can close off with is AFCON. AFCON. How you see it? Honestly, in terms of the teams, I'm not like fully like before. Remember, I don't know. There was an excitement about AFCON before.
There was an
particularly
excitement
with Bafana, and in terms of the amount of African players that were playing in Europe. So you had an idea. I mean, there's still African players playing in Europe, but I mean, there was just a certain level back in the day.
But I think
so you had an idea of who's playing where.
In terms of African players, I think there was a time when it was a golden era where it was like, SCN, Drogba, like there was all these big names playing.
Exactly.
And Ivory Coast, they had the Toure brothers. They had Drogba up front. Nigeria had who they had all JJ Okocha and them, JJ Okocha
Obi
and them, and
Mikel,
all these
yeah.
Obi Mikel. It was just there was a lot of like African players that
SCN at
not just
Ghana. Yeah,
were
there
playing.
was stars.
Yeah, there was
There
like
were
proper
stars.
stars, like proper stars. Not to say there's no proper stars now,
No,
but they're not on the same level, like back
no,
then. Like they almost like a lot of them are African players that grew up in Europe and are playing for an African team now. So it's almost like it's not the
that's
same.
true.
It's not the same like how I think these always came from Africa and made themselves stars. Whereas
True.
a lot of them now are like they grew up in Europe and nationality they chose
Yeah,
to
it's that.
represent
I
their
noticed that's
country of
kind of a
birth.
trend because I mean, if you look at like Inaki Williams, he grew up in Spain.
Yeah,
Now he's playing for Ghana. There's quite a few like that, huh? There's quite a
quite a
few like
few.
that where they, they're going back to their home, their mother's
Yeah.
country or their father's country.
So
It's
it's good,
interesting.
but it's like I think
The
it's
level.
like for us, I think that's why we looked up like even now, like Drogba, Eto'o, all these guys, we look at them in a different light because they came from Africa, Mayday away.
No.
It's different. I think it's just, and I think they play with more passion. I think there's more people talk about it more, and
Yeah.
it's just different. I don't know. I'm just trying to guess at what killed it.
Yeah,
because
no, true.
We
True.
we did used to look forward to it. We did used to look forward to it,
Yeah.
but it's not the same.
So, but
I
the
will
level's
watch a match
different.
tonight. There's a match that, like for me, it's a decent time. The Senegal Gambia game, but
Yeah.
a lot of the games are too late for me. So I'll only be checking highlights. So
Okay.
and there's also the Asian Cup too on at the same time.
Oh yeah,
So
the Asian Cup, Indo United. No, Japan. I think they won 4-2. I think they won it like was it like 3 times in a row or something.
the game was live. I
Yeah.
actually watched that game. That game was action.
Yeah.
That game was fast.
It was-
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Remember,
I didn't even know
stadium
Vietnam
wasn't that full.
plays ball, bro.
Yeah, hey, Vietnam. I don't even know any
I didn't even
player's
know they
name,
play
but the
ball.
name's Vietnam. But yeah, they, but they, yeah, I'd say they played, because that's what everybody thought in their walkover for Japan. Because Japan have been hitting everyone. Japan even hit Germany in the build up to this thing. They were hitting everyone, so they thought, hey, easy game for Japan. But yeah, Vietnam played, Vietnam played.
You know what's crazy?
But
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy regarding Japanese football? I mean, I have a theory, right? There's this anime. you know me, I'm a nerdy ways. I love Japanese anime. There's this anime called Blue Lock, right? And it's basically it's basically based on the Japanese national team, right? But what it's based on is a development. It's a cartoon, right? It's animation, but it's based on the development of youth players. You must check it out when you can. Blue Lock. It's based on the development of the Japanese players, right? So these young players, quite skillful players in Japan, they get selected to go into the Blue Lock program, where they train them high tech. You know what I'm saying? And then I think from there they get developed to play for Japan. A lot of it had to do recently the way they developed the Blue Lock thing as well. Japan's just basically the national team's progress in the World Cup, etc. My theory is that thing is not just well, obviously the technology and everything is way too advanced, right?
Cartoon.
But to me, it's not just a cartoon. So for me, the development of Japanese players that's happening right now, it's another level. I mean, for years, we know Japan playing World Cup 98,
they've been playing
World Cup 94. But right now, in terms of especially the style of football they're playing right now, I think their development has gone to another level where They're actually specifically training players in specific positions. Because right now there's something going on with Japanese attacking midfielders and wingers. They're all over Germany. They're all over France. They're all over. You know what I'm saying? The Chunga defensive midfielders, it's coming there slowly. Well, obviously it's Endo, but they also, it's like they seem to be working on things tactically, positionally, and the Japanese government are pumping money into their football
But-
association. Yeah,
But they also known perfectionists. So if you
as well.
think that they're not going to take it lightly, if you think they're going to take football lightly or positioning and all these things lightly, tactical ability, tactical awareness, these are things they study. If
Yeah.
what's his name? What's the one from Brighton? If he did a thesis on dribbling
I
or
mean,
something, so
what's his name?
that can tell you what kind of players what kind of mindset they come into this game. Yeah, you
Mitoma.
can take some light lecture on Mitoma. That's it.
Mitoma,
Imagine.
yeah.
So that's what you're dealing with. That's what the level of mindset these guys are going into football with.
Yeah.
So Japan has to be slipped on.
Yeah. That's just my theory. But anyway, it's been genuine. It's been genuine, Shelloz. Just a
Last
quick
shot,
before
man.
we go. Prediction for AFCON. Who are you going with?
I'm going with. I haven't really been watching a lot of African football, but I don't know. I like Senegal. I don't know. They've always been my team that I kind of side with going into African Cup of Nations for a while now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm open. Yeah, I'm backing them.
Yeah, I'm going
And
with
you?
Nigeria.
That's quite yo.
I mean, awesome, man. But I think the one thing that really kind of slowed their progress was the Boniface injury. But I think Osaman can lead the line. Nigeria is looking good. I mean, we got always like Alex Awobi there, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze. They got some quality players. I'm going with Nigeria, even though they what I've been noticing in the first match day games, it's been tough for the big teams. I mean, Egypt scraped a draw with Mozambique last night. Ghana got hit by Cape Verde.
Guys there in Mozambique.
Ghana got hit by Cape Verde.
Whoa,
so Chris Houghton, 2-1. So Chris Houghton, unfortunately, there was
chicks. You had to dodge bricks.
To kick down. They lost the game. The Ghana fans are not happy. I didn't even know his Bali is Ghanaian. Interesting, huh? Chris Houghton.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's like a random appointment.
It's looking interesting that this AFCON is going to be not as predictable as before.
But I think Egypt, all tournaments going forward, like the countries now, it's like any country. There's development when it comes to football. Any country, like you can't really just look at.
They're pumping money in.
Getting left behind.
We the only.
We got.
See, we didn't even discuss Bafana.
We got the interest in the game. We got the passion for the game, the love for the game. But the people that are in the position to take this game seriously are not taking it seriously. Like South Africa got raw talent like nobody's business. There's just so much talent all over the show. But we're just looking at this talent getting wasted away. And unfortunately, it's a sad one. That's a whole other show into a 6-hour podcast on that one.
But we love them, Shame. They got a game tomorrow. We got Mali tomorrow, so I'm definitely gonna watch that. We still love Bafana. But anyway, Shelloz, hey, it's been cool there. We shall meet up again very, very soon. Peace out.